Hey y'all, it's me, Niecy Lynn. This is the 1st of September. Happy birthday, Mama. Katch and I are gonna go over and see her in a little bit. Today's her birthday. So it'll be nice to see her and she'll love seeing Katch. So I'm gonna try to catch up with sister and be there at the same time she is. And y'all, let me just preface this video with saying my hummingbirds are everywhere outside. So when I'm looking, a squirrel, it's not a squirrel, it's a hummingbird. They are everywhere. They must be moving back south because I've had to fill the feeders twice already this week. And I have 4, 5, 6, 8. So they are crazy busy out there getting filled their little tummies up before they head back home. So if I keep glancing to the side, that's why. But I've had a great week. I had NABS, which is the Noah's Ark Bible School, 3 days this week. We had Tuesday and Thursday orientation with our other team teacher, getting our rooms ready and all that. And then Meet the Teacher was yesterday. And the kids were adorable. We didn't have any tears. Now, of course, we may have tears on Tuesday when the parents actually leave, but they were so cute. And one of them's dad, I'm pretty sure everybody needs to put on his prayer list because she was just ready to play and ready for dad to go. And every time he would try to step in and, take a peek, she'd say, and point at the door. So she ended up staying inside like the whole hour, and dad had to hang out in the hallway while she was having a good time. So she, I guess, has missed having friends to play with this summer. So I told dad, I said, listen, I think the story here is she's just ready to for you to pick her up when that doctorate is finished, okay? And he said, listen, on some levels, I'm 100% on board with that, but on some level, I am just struggling. And I said, hey, I understand completely. So they were so cute, and it's gonna be such a fun year. So thank y'all for praying that that the job would come through and work out and that it would be where I was supposed to be. So I think it's gonna be lots of fun and help me not be so lonely this year. I didn't get as much stitching done as I'd like because I didn't get to spread it out as much. We had that funeral and we were basically gone all day on Saturday. We had to drive, it's about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes to where the funeral was. And then James Williams was a pallbearer, so we had to be there, early. And then, so we had the service. And any of y'all preachers on here, I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, but sometimes y'all get long-winded. And y'all think that a funeral is a Sunday service. And we had everything but an altar call. I'm gonna tell you right now, she had a lot to say. And it was a nice service, but it was a little bit long-winded for me in a way that had nothing to do with Kelly. So that's just my little 2 cents worth. So the service was long, and then they did a shot at the end. They either had peach tea, which we loved, or they had Woodford Reserve. And the sermon had gone on so long that I really was tempted to ask for a shot for each hand, but I didn't because I knew then we still had to go to the graveside, so I knew I needed some. But I just took my shot along with everybody else, and we went to the graveside, and it was 106, 107 at least. And of course, black dress. It was so hot. It was so hot. She got a little long-winded there too. And then there was a barbecue luncheon to follow, which was nice. We got to visit with everybody some and, talk to people a little bit. So that was nice. And the AC was trying, but there's just not a lot of the AC. And okay, here's a little thing about your air conditioning. An air condition designed to make a 20-degree split from the outside air. That's the way it's designed. Now they try to amp them up because it's so hot and we get so used to it being so much cooler, right? So when it's 108 outside, if your AC is working the way it was originally designed, it's designed to take it to 88, not 68, right? So, and then you have people's body heat coming in out of the funeral. It was so hot. So it was something else. But by the time we got back, I was supposed to go out to dinner with my friends, and I had to cancel out. I was just whooped. So Saturday was a full day, but I worked on my Bent Creek. If y'all remember, I started it when Annie was having her surgery. Let's see, let me grab it out here. This guy here, my Bent Creek zipper, and it is a Santa Claus, and it's tiny. The cover picture is so tiny. Y'all, it's just little bitty. I don't even know if it'll focus. I wonder if I hold it on here, if it'll focus better. Like this. Okay. Let's see. Is that, well, yeah. You can kind of see him there. He's just tiny, but he's so cute. But he is on 18 count something, I think. 18 count linen. And you work over too. Yeah. 18 count linen, and you're working over too. So it's easy to work on in the car. So I just started working on him in the car, and I just rode that out. So my Bent Creek zipper Santa, let me grab him. And he just got, as Dottie would say and my grandma would say, a lick and a promise. He did not get a real ironing right, okay? He did not. He just got a lick and a promise. Let's see. Hello, Dottie. I hope you're doing okay. Let's see. And Daylene, I've been thinking about y'all. And Frankie wasn't feeling good this week. I hope she's feeling better. There have been so many of y'all that have been under the weather and had all the health stuff. And like I said, I'm just going to put him on here, just kind of But I did get him finished, and he's so cute. I changed my colors up. I used what they sent, but I changed some up and added in, I think, added two. Okay, so here he is down here. And you see, they only have him dressed in two colors, like a dark red, a maroon, and like a barn red. And then he has on some thigh-high boots. And that what I found disturbing. So mine has on, and I don't know if the light's catching it, the darker red. See if I can turn it where the light gets it better. There you go, maybe. He has on the darker red pants and then his boots. And then I changed his glove to green. I told y'all I like green gloves. And so then I used the brown as the ribbon instead of the green. And then I had some blue left over from my Bent Creek flag of stars. I used it. Is that everything? Oh, I think he has some more stars I didn't put on here. Did he? No? Oh, let me see, y'all. Did I finish him? I just had this wave of, oh my goodness. No, those are where the buttons are. He is done. Woo! Holy moly. And then I added white on the cuff of his shirt and the little fluffy trim on his hat, and the little pom-pom on his hat was also out of flag of stars. So the white and the blue were out of flag of stars, and I just used them and moved the green around to his mittens. So like I said, he was crazy easy to work on in the car. And then by the time we got back on Saturday, I had done so much of him, I just decided to go ahead and finish him off. I will make him into a little, like standalone. And I don't know if y'all remember, I made Mama the 4 Seasons, and I have them on a little easel. It's a little thick easel thing in her room. And then she just switches them out. And sometimes I'll go in there and it'll be, you know, the wrong season, but she says she wants to look at something different. So she just changes it. So he will go in that stack because she has a snowman for winter and flowers for spring, and there's a pumpkin for the fall, and I think watermelon for the summer. And so he'll go in there, and so she will have one that's specifically Christmas. So that'll give her another kind of a season that she can put up and switch out in there part of the time. But they're all close to the same size. He is a little I think he's a little less square than they are maybe. He is 65 by 58. So he's pretty close. So he'll be a little less square than them, but it doesn't bother her and she loves it. And that's all I care about, is that it makes her happy. So it's in her little stack so she can control her decorating, you know, to some degree. So she loves it. So it was super perfect to work on in the car. So if you've got a long car trip coming up, and from here to camp is like, the way we went, I mean, you can take the highway and then jet down. But the way we went back roads and stayed off 20. And so, you know, you're kind of bumpy roads and stuff. So if you're going on bumpy roads, something like this on an 18 count linen is super easy to see. You don't have to worry about getting your count off or missing one of the threads, over threads or something. So it just worked out so cute. And his little face, I don't know if I can get it too close up on his little face. He's adorable. And then I just put my little initials and the year down there at the bottom. And I stinking love him. He's so, so cute. So I would recommend this one to anybody. I'm sure the pattern is still available. I should have looked, but I didn't. To work on, like I said, I don't know if the kits are still available, but I'm sure that at least the pattern is. He will be one of our shares today. So the pattern will be a share today. So I will throw him over here. So that was my finish this week. I had one finish, and I'm gonna put him over here because it's the pattern, and that will be one of the shares for today. Let's see here, throw that in there. Then I worked on there it is. I'm on Howl at the Moon for my Halloween rules. There we go. I'll get it right in a minute. So I got a little bit of it done, not a ton. I am gonna leave that ugly, like warty, bumpy thing off his nose. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's a little aggressive. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm not gonna put that on there. I'm gonna leave that off. But I got, and my needle's still stuck in here. And now I don't know where my needle book that it's supposed to be in is. Stick it right there. I worked on it a little last night before I was so tired. I got so sleepy last night. I do not know what, but I guess, you know, we were getting our room ready. You know, you're trying to make sure you've got everything going, you know, and got it all taken care of. You want it to be super cute and all when the kids get there, and we'll take their pictures on Monday for their little me books. I remember Aria getting it, and it was so sweet because it shows little things they've done throughout the year. And then ours, Brittany, who is my other, like my teen teacher, she has a big ruler that we'll have in the picture. They'll be standing next to in the picture on Tuesday. And then when we retake the picture at the end of the year, it'll be in there also. And so, you know, you can see how much they've grown, and all the moms can cry. And I'll know because I can say that because I was one of those mamas that was bawling. Bawling. My babies growing up was the hardest on me. Every time one of them went to kindergarten, I cried the whole week. And I worked. So I cried at work the entire week. I still worked, still did my job, but there were tears rolling down my face. I didn't make a spectacle. I was raised with the no showing out, you know. No showing out. You can have emotion, but you need to express it quietly and not impress it on others. That's how I was raised, so. Oh my goodness. So I was that person. So I'm getting it 100%. So it's just this adorable little program. And so it's just gonna be so much fun. So I worked a little bit on Howl at the Moon. So I had this guy, I think finished or nearly finished. I might have needed one little thing over here. And then I've got Howl at, and then if you can, there we go, the first star is done right there. And so you can kind of look up. Everything's done but the buttons. The buttons aren't sewed on. A lot of the eyeballs are buttons. So these are the last two. Howl at the Moon and Be Spooktacular are the very last two on here. And I'm so excited. So excited. I think I am gonna have this one. I think I'm gonna have this one framed. And yes, it looks crazy where I have that fabric folder up there. But doing ones that are this long is super hard. I thought I might just order a frame and frame it myself, but I don't know. I may just send this one off and let it get its frame on and put it away. I try not to do that so much because it is a lot of money, and if it's, especially on a seasonal piece, they're small, you know, you can just do them yourself and then put them in the bin and it's fine till then, you know, till you get them out again the next year. But this one is so cute. And I feel like when I get hit by a bus or something, when I croak, Micah might take this one for her Halloween decorations. But I love it. I've loved every stitch. It's super fun because you have like a little finish each time. So, you know, you had to finally finish the top and then you finish, you know, finish. Each time you had this little mini victory as you went along. And that's like the joy of dividing them up, how Barbara did the raspberry stitcher did Jessie Watson for us and divided it all up. And it was super fun to follow along and be in the right spot every time. It kept you on track. I think we stitched it maybe over a year, and you never felt rushed. I never felt rushed. I never felt like I was neglecting it, or I just had this little, yes. And maybe it's because I'm a list maker. Y'all know I have, which I'm gonna try making it on Canva this year. But I have a daily, I have a gratitude journal, right? So I have 3 things I'm grateful for and 3 things I'm excited about. And then I have daily non-negotiable things that I do every day. I might give myself a pass on some of them one day a week. I like cardio. One day a week, I might not do my cardio. I usually do it 7 days a week. But for the most part, everything else is done every day. I try to stay on top of it every day. So, and because with the cardio, they say you only need 150 minutes a week, and I usually get like 210 minimum. So usually I have more than doubled what I'm supposed to have half the time by the time we get to the end of the week. So it's fine. So maybe that's the reason I enjoy having these little mini finishes each time, because I feel like I've checked the little box, I've completed the little task, and I love that. And that's how I stay on top of things. My housework is broken up like that every week. You know, I water my trees. I water my plants daily, but I water my new trees weekly outside because I have several new trees. And around here, trees need about 3 years of a good weekly water before they are ready to take on the environment here because it's so hostile. So that's on there. Make sure I change my bird, I fill my bird feeders and I filled my hummingbird feeders, because the beginning of the season you have to dump out the water even though they haven't used it, because you don't want it to sour and make them sick or be moldy. So that's on there. So all these things. So maybe that's why I love one like this, because you do have that little mini check every time, and I can feel like, okay, yeah, that's great. I've got that done. So I have loved this one, and having it done, of course, will be the last, 2 of my 19. So I'll be down to just the one, which I'm fixing to show next. I did work on it just a tiny bit this week because I told you I was going to try to work on it every week and make sure I did something every week, and that would keep me, you know, at least keep me mobile on it, which I have lacked that. I had kind of let it fall to the wayside for a while because I'd got so many, and some of y'all worked a lot, many of them at one time. Well, that is a little bit much for me. So that is Halloween Rules by Lizzie Kate. It is available at 123 Stitch. And which makes me think about my Prairie schooler. He got a little bit of a, I hit him a little bit with this is Strawberry Shortcake by Wicked Stepmother. Frankie hasn't been feeling good this week. So I hope she's feeling better when she sees this today. And I said, I think they've reprinted these. Carol was sweet enough to let me know that they have, all the older Prairie schoolers are either still in production or have been re-released into books. And she said they'll have several in a book. This one here is called Santa's Revisited 8. It's in Santa's Revisited 8 by Prairie Schooler. So I love him. And yes, the little deer on him is so cute. So thank you, Carol, for letting us know that, because that was a question I had, if they were still available. I hate when and I don't know, I guess the secondary market can get to be so crazy and so difficult to navigate. You know, you can't find what you want, or it's incredibly expensive, or like this, which is, I mean, it's fair trade, I get it. But I love it when they re-release them so that not only are they easier to find, but some people cannot afford to pay the huge prices. And you know, you really want to stitch something that makes you sad if you can't do it. So we're going to look at Hedgerow House by Jane Greenoff. This one is going to be beautiful if I ever get my life right and get it finished. I worked on some more back stitching, and I just stopped last night. Was it last night or not before? I just stopped and the needle's still hanging out on here, so we're just gonna pretend like it's not, y'all don't see it sticking through. Let's see here. There we go, sort of. Okay, this is not perfect, but I'll flip that guy back so you can see right there. How's that? Okay. This is called Wild Hedgerow House Sampler. You can see right there. By Jane Greenoff. It is in her stitching books. I think I have one of the anniversary editions. There is the whole thing. I'm planning on stopping about right here with mine. And I worked on some more of the back stitching over here. So this side you can see is fully back stitched down to right there. Down to the orange flower, the back stitching is done on this right hand side over here. But over here on the, what is that, the J side? Yeah, the HIJ side, it is not. I'm working on back stitching the pansy right now, but see the little house and the orange flower and the green flowers under it are not back stitched yet. So, like I said, I'm probably just gonna come right across here and stop this. Mainly because I don't enjoy the trick. To me, this one is very tricky counting. It has a lot of confetti stitching, which of course makes it incredibly beautiful. I'm using mainly over-dyed on the confetti stitching because I'm a cheater. And you know what Daddy says, find one lazy man, he'll find you the easiest way to do it, everything. Right there. So, I love it. This is Toast by Bestitch Me. It is a gorgeous piece of fabric. Gorgeous. So I'm gonna be super excited to have it finished, but it's a lot. It is a lot to have it finished. Just a lot. So I don't know. I'm gonna be super happy when I'm at the end of it, because it just is a style that is very, because I set my stitching down and come back to it and set my stitching down and come back to it, keeping count on something like this. And I don't, if I was a person that highlighted pattern or something, it would probably be much easier, but I don't. And so it's really, it's a lot of brain work to keep that right, you know, every time you come back to it. So I'm gonna just chop it off and not make it as long, and it'll be fine. I love it. I love the colors. It is just gorgeous, but it's not, I don't enjoy stitching on it as much as I do other things, because there is so much confetti stitching and so much back stitching. Like I said, I did away with a lot of it by using over dyes instead of switching threads, but still, that's just a lot. So I'm just going to make my life easy, and I'm going to finish it down to where I want it and be done with it. And then just love on it. Because once it's hanging on the wall, I'm never gonna think about this is what the whole thing looked like. That's never gonna enter my mind. I'm gonna see what I've got finished, and I'm gonna say, man, that is a beautiful piece of needlework. On the back of it, I will write, this is Wild Hedgerow House Sampler by Jane Greenoff. I finished the top 2/3, and you know, that's where I wanted to stop it. Because on the back, I do write that, you know, what this is or whatever. So I'm loving it, but it's a lot. I will love it extra when it's finished, because it's stunning. It is absolutely stunning. I'll probably stitch this for Granny or Amy. I'm not sure which one. My Granny or my Amy will either get this one, and I haven't decided which yet, because I decided I would use Lucy V. Moore for my mama, my mama's mama, that we spent every summer with her. And my papa, he's the one that taught me to do the French knots. And because it includes 2 names on that one, I think I'm gonna do Lucy V. Moore for them. So I'm thinking this one will either be Granny, who was my great-grandmother, but I was lucky enough to know her. That was good old girl's mama's mother. And we're fixing to, I got Pink Sparrow Sampler FFO'd. And I'm so excited, so excited. I love it. And my nose is about to start running. I forgot to see what allergen is this week. I think it's grass allergies that are trying to kill me. So this is Pink Sparrow Sampler. And I decided to go with a 10 by 13 just off the wall, you know, just off the rack frame. It's not exactly right, but it's okay. Here it is, framed here, and it is beautiful. It was sent from Daleen. I have loved every stitch of it. I was nearly sad when it was finished. And then I will put a cover on here. You can see it was $29.99 at Hobby Lobby. And Jana had sent me a gift certificate for my sweet sister-in-law, watching her kitty cats while they were gone. So that picked up the biggest portion of it. And I don't have the board in here perfectly straight, I realized after this morning. So it's straight on the board, but the board is not straight in the frame. I've got it tilted just a tiny bit, but here she is in all her glory. And let me see, that way. Yeah, maybe that way's better. I could not love her anymore. So that is my daddy's mama, Velma Honest Ledbetter. and she was a Horton before she was married. And then Patsy Ann Ledbetter is my daddy's older sister. And James Allen Ledbetter is my daddy. And then Linda Carroll Ledbetter was my aunt, who is with Jesus. So, and the one I get my personality from. Good or bad? Oh my goodness. But I framed this up yesterday after I got home. I ran in and cleaned my bathrooms, and I thought, you know what, I want to get that done. But you can see I have it cantilevered in here. It's a little bit off. So I'm closer right here than I am right here a little bit. So I need to go in and push the board, and I might could even do it right here, but I've got it fixed in the back pretty tight. So I just need to wedge it around a little bit. But I think I know this is the same style frame. I believe when I did Jessie Watson, she's an 11 by 14. I should have grabbed her so we could look at them both together, but they will be on the wall together because I will have my ancestry wall in there. So I loved this thing. This is all my Wicked Stepmother colors, and it just came out gorgeous. Like I said, it's beautiful like this. Are both of them in there? But that's a little bit muted for me. So I just ramped up the color a little bit, and I did all my alphabet one color. And some of these are kind of hard. The light pink ones, unless you tilt, there you go. They kind of mix in, and the gold one here. But when you tilt them, you can see, there they are, that gold right there. So I loved stitching on this. I was nearly sad it was finished, but I can't wait to hang it up. I will put the brown paper on the back, and then I'll put that she was, you know, my paternal grandmother, and that the names of my daddy and my Aunt Lynn and Pat and all that, and my papa's name. And then I will put the reason I chose this was because of the rhyme she used to tell us. Little birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon the windowsill with sparkling eyes and feathers red and said, "Wake up, Niecy, you sleepyhead." So that was the reason I chose this one for her. And my cousin said she said with a feathered head. I thought she said with feathers red. So I don't know. But I love it. It made me think of her. She always had a dog. She had a little, my Aunt Lynn had little poodles. And we had one named Trouble. And then Mama and my other cousins had one named Candy. And then Mama had one named Tutu. So she had Tutu, and then once they got a German Shepherd outside, which we had always had a German Shepherd growing up. And its name, for whatever reason, its name was Big Dog. So there was Tutu and Big Dog always at the house. So Tutu and Big Dog even made it. I started to try to add their names in, and I thought, no, I'll just leave that off there. Maybe add it on the back. I thought it might be kind of not okay if the dogs' names are written out and the kids just got their initials. I don't know. But I love it. I can't wait to get it on the wall together with my one for Mammy. And I also put on here, this is my mama right here. And this is the day she was born and the day she passed is right here also. So all that information is on here. And then I'll again put it on the back. I also wrote the name of the sampler and that I stitched it for my grandmother is on the backer board of this. So that if the frame's ever busted and it ends up, you know, the kids, you know, it has some idea. And so on the back of this piece of backer board, it says, this is the Pink Sparrow sampler by With a Needle and Thread, stitched for my paternal grandmother, and like that. So it does have some information that this is a tiered to. The stitching is a tiered to that backer board, so that hopefully at least that part of it will remain together. enough so that Brenda's beautiful design, if it ever made it through the millennia, they would know that she designed this beautiful piece. So I'm gonna start trying to do that on my pieces so that the designer's name will hopefully never be separated from the piece. I don't know, who knows. I did get some Happy Meal this week. Oh, and I'm gonna show y'all this. This is funny. I'm gonna try to fold it. When I was born, and my mom always told me the reason I was so bossy was because my birth certificate said I was a boy. And I thought she told me she had to turn it back in, right? To go and have it corrected, and had to take a note from a doctor saying I was actually a girl. And this is a true copy, and it was actually, this is, I guess the first time she ever picked it up was 1972. So 5 years after I was born, I guess when she's getting ready to send me to kindergarten, you see what it says. And she had to go get a note from the doctor saying, no, I was a girl. So I thought that was funny, and I love that it managed to survive all these years. So funny. So I will put that in there I have a document saved with a little funny note in there about it. I don't think I showed this one last week. I think this one came after last week, because I think I showed the beautiful one from Karen, The Promise. It is sitting here because I believe, and I need to double check my register, that I have not sent the thank you note yet. So it is sitting here, but this came from Lisa. She said her friend was cleaning some stuff out and she came across this and was gonna get a shed of it. And so she sent it, and it is beautiful. So beautiful. I am just loving it. I'm just like, and there's some thread in here, some beautiful thread. It's molasses and marmalade. And I don't know if that's the colors of this just calls for DMC. So Lisa, if this was not intended to be in here, let me know and I will send it back to you, because I think it was in your package. I've had kind of a crazy week. So if I'm off somebody, or if this came from somebody else, y'all just get my brain right. But this is beautiful. Linda Gillum's Noah's Ark 2x2. It's another one that I have not stitched, that I hope to get stitched. And James Williams and I got my shelves up on Sunday. So my stitching room is nearly ready. It's getting close. So next week, maybe we can film from the stitching room and have some progress inside there. Vicky in Kansas, you are always and already invited to my stitchy commune when James Williams kicks the bucket. And Belinda, those were some lucky fourth graders to have you all those years, because there's nothing better than a good teacher on the whole planet. Diane, yes, this weather is super hard on crops and livestock. Keely's hay, you just spend every day worrying that somebody throws their cigarette out and there goes, half your income for the year up in smoke. So it is. So pray for the farmers, the crops, pray for some rain. I know so many places have got so much more than they need, and we're sitting out here getting in drought again. So hopefully we will get some soon. You worry about, she said, their calves, you worry about your calves going in this heat because they immediately start dropping weight. You just cannot maintain. Funny thing here is they've had a few sheep shows, but they're late, across the summer, and they're late in the evening, way on into the evening, to try to keep the heat off the animals because it's so hot. Sue, it was so good to see her face on here. And yes, I love me some collard greens too. She said her daddy would cook vegetables out on the porch. He had a big old stovetop thing out on the porch, and he would make collard greens. I love collard greens, and it made me hungry for collard greens. We may have some this week. Collard greens and cornbread, there is not a better dinner. There is not a better dinner for me than collard greens and cornbread. I'm there for it. Casey. Kathy Case. I started to say Casey Kath. Kathy Case. I have heard that the Poconos are so gorgeous and so nice and cool in the summer. So I'm definitely thinking about you right now. And Nicole says she knows that we're down here dying, but of course she lives way up north in Canada. And you know, when the wind chill is negative 45 and the temp is negative 35 in the winter, y'all, I can melt a long time. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, literally, I can stay out all day if I have to when it's 110 out here. If I have to, I can. I'm pretty sure that I can't survive outside at negative 45. I'm pretty sure that you will die. So, yes, Nicole, you need to come south like the birds for the winter. I don't know how y'all do it. And yes, Dave Ev, I am going to frame Halloween Rules. I think I'm going to send it to a framer and have it done professionally. I may try to call Shelly about that this weekend. Because I know my needlework shop, my LNS doesn't do framing anymore. The Stitch Niche doesn't do framing anymore. So I've got to find a new avenue because Hobby Lobby and Michael's, I've just never been pleased with on a big piece like that. A little piece, they've done fine. Big piece, Oh, Debbie, I've had to sit and stand on my counter too. She said she thought about me this week when she had to sit on her counter to work on her backsplash. And she had her bottom on the counter and she said she thought about me saying that's not for butts. And it's not. But I've had to do it myself sometimes. Short folks must. And the lady that I'm working with, the other teacher, is just like 5 foot. So we're standing in the chairs all the time. All the time. Because there ain't no tall person in the room. And one of the moms, she's a mom and a teacher, when we were doing CPR, he put them in the chairs so we wouldn't have to get down on our knees, right? And she was having to bend way down because she's tall, even though it was in a chair. And she said, you know, some of us are having to bend way down here. And I was laughing because her name's Sarah. And you know, there's that story, Sarah Plain and Tall. And I thought, but this woman is not plain. She's stunning. She's gorgeous. And so I thought, yeah, there's Sarah stunning and tall up there complaining. Now listen, as I told her when she brought her baby in her room, because her baby's in our class, I said, listen, I already pegged you out, Sarah stunning and tall. I don't want to hear no complaining about having them long legs and stuff. So when you said having to sit and stand on stuff, short folks unite, right? Vicky, thank you. I am liking my hair. And Linda, yes, I don't think it matters how old you are, just how old you want to let yourself feel and slip into. I'm loving it. It is super easy. I still have the tops off the Jeep because we have no rain inside. So I'm just running around with the tops off the Jeep, and it's been so cool this week. It's been like under 100 most days. So you nearly have to have a jacket, you think. So thank you for saying you like my hair. I am enjoying it. And yes, the kids were so hilarious at Meet the Teacher. Audrey, okay, she sent me a lot of great Northern Ireland words, but this one I love and I may start trying to adapt it. If something is broken, like your washing machine is broken, she said it's banjaxed. Your washing machine is banjaxed when it's broken, and I like that. I love the way that sounds. It sounds like something broken. So I love that. I may have to steal that word. Charles, I'm going to go to a 1920s party someday. I want to so bad. They have a jazz in the park thing here. I think in the spring, early summer. It's early summer because that's the reason James Williams doesn't want to go. He always says it's too hot already. So I may just have to go with somebody else and let him stay here. Sharon, I forgot to go look at Lindy Stitch's new black cat design, but I will go look at that. So everybody, Sharon says Lindy Stitch's has an adorable new black cat design, so I've got to go look at it. So thank you for the heads up on it, and hopefully I will remember to do it in a minute. I'll make myself another little star here. Hey Zan, I hope you're enjoying your fall. She's crazy band lady Stitches, and I know she loves the fall when all her kids are she's getting to do band time and all the performances on the field, which are fabulous. And Angie said in South Carolina, she heard about some people baking lasagna in their mailbox, and I could believe it here. It is that hot. don't think I had anything else. We have shares from last week. Let me grab them out and see who else I'm waiting to hear from. Okay. And I've got I've got a stack of mail over there to take, but haven't made it to the mailbox. So this one, I'm still waiting on Becky S, Becky. And where is it? This one, Nancy Cray. If y'all will email me at NieceLynn@yahoo.com, I will get that to you. And let's see what we have here. Okay. Flip. Okay, we're looking for, here we go. Deborah Brown 6061 is the recipient of quilt. Deborah Brown 6061. The Valentine Rabbit goes to Leslie Price 9224. Leslie Price 9224. These are so cute. This is the sweetest thing. Get this one. Like I said, it has the one on the back also. There's two on that one. Where are we at? Kitties, right? Yeah, cat. Goes Zandy Ziegler, 2297. Zandy Ziegler, I love your name. Fishing goes to Morgan MM 5331. And I just realized I forgot to make a drawing for one. I'll have to do this again next week because I forgot to draw, for whatever reason, for dog. There's nothing wrong with me. But this one is Morgan MM 5331. This week, let's see here. Okay, we'll start off with this one. My goodness. Use the word dog for this one. I don't know how I missed it last time. Something happened wrong in my brain. We have this one, the Bent Creek Santa. Use the word Santa if you're interested in that one. We have the Welcome In. Use the word welcome. This is so sweet. This is Eliza's Pincushion by Dames of the Needle. Use the word pincushion. Use the word pincushion if you're interested in that. It is gorgeous little pin keep. What is that trim? That trim is beautiful. I'll have to read it and see what the trim is. And then this adorable little thing here by Frog. Is that Now and Catch? Use the word frog if you're interested in this one. And they came in, hey, Cat, you want to come tell everybody hi? No? Oh, no telling y'all hi. Okay, y'all don't get no hi today. But we're all done, and I'm going to get this uploaded. Y'all have a happy Friday, and enjoy your stitching. Bye.